Hello, this is the Bible in fewer words. We are Carol and Steve Wells. This is episode 159, the book of Ezra, chapters 1 through 10. If you enjoy this podcast and the Skeptic's Annotated Bible website, consider supporting us at patreon.com/BFW. Hi, Steve.
Hi, Carol.
How many chapters are there in Ezra?
There are 10.
Oh, that means we're doing them all today?
Yeah, the whole book.
That is great.
Yeah.
So I remember last time there was the Babylonian captivity.
Yeah, that's right. And this is going to just be a continuation of that.
Oh.
In fact, the first few verses of Ezra are almost identical to the last few verses of 2nd Chronicles.
Really?
And I left them out last time.
Well, it's a good thing we're going to cover them this time.
Yeah. What's happening is the Jews have been to captivity in Babylon.
Yeah.
And now they're coming back to Judah.
Okay. I guess we'll find out what they're going to do there.
That's right.
All right, let's go.
Okay. Oh, one other thing to mention is that because of the similarities in the language and the content of those verses in common between the two books,
Yeah.
a lot of scholars think that the book of Ezra was probably written by the chronicler.
Oh, that elusive chronicler.
Yeah.
Huh.
Maybe it was even Ezra.
Oh.
Yeah, you never know. They think it's just a continuation of the book of Chronicles written by the same author.
All right, well, let's quickly get this book done.
Okay.
Great. Chapter 1. God inspired King Cyrus of Persia to make a proclamation of his word by the mouth of Jeremiah.
That by the mouth of Jeremiah thing, what that really means is it's a fulfillment of what Jeremiah had said about the Jews going to Babylon and returning and all that. So
Okay.
King Cyrus is the king of Persia.
Yep.
And that empire is conquering Babylon. And when it does, it inherits its prisoners. And
Yep.
so it has to decide what to do with them. So Persia is in the region of what is today Iran. And Babylon was where Iraq is today.
Huh. So the king of Persia is just saying, I'm going to let you go? Go ahead and go?
Well, we'll find out.
Oh,
right?
okay.
That's what this proclamation is going to be about.
All right. This is it. I'm King Cyrus of Persia. God has given me everything on earth. Lucky guy.
Yeah. He told me to build a house for him in Jerusalem. Any of you who'd like to return to Jerusalem to help build God's house may do so.
So Cyrus is going.
Oh, no, he's going to stay. He's just saying, God's told me to build. He doesn't mean he's going to actually do the building.
I thought, all right,
No.
a humble king.
Yeah, God just told him to build a house, so he's going to send the Israelites back to build the house in Jerusalem for God.
Okay. Take all your silver, gold, goods, and beasts with you.
Yeah, you wouldn't think they'd have any silver or gold because that was all taken by Nebuchadnezzar, right?
Yeah, and their status has been slaves.
Maybe now Cyrus is, I guess, giving this stuff back, and they're going to go home with it.
All right. So the people returned to Jerusalem with 30 gold dishes, 1,000 silver dishes, 29 knives, 30 gold bowls, 410 silver bowls, and 1,000 other vessels.
Yeah, 29 knives.
Yeah, that's pretty good accounting they've got going on there.
Yeah. I wonder how many knives we have.
I have no idea.
I think Ezra really likes to keep track of numbers. We'll see that later on, too.
Okay.
Because actually, in the next chapter, it's all about numbers. It's a list of people returning from Babylon. 70 verses, which I'm leaving out here.
70 verses?
Yeah.
So is one verse a list and the second verse another list?
I'll read you one just to let you know what we're missing.
Okay.
Here's an example. The children of Erah, 775. And then it goes on to talk about
the children of somebody else.
The children of Pahath Moab.
Oh, we're missing out on new names,
Yeah.
Steve.
And each of these groups of people, I don't know, clans, I guess, are given exact numbers.
Really?
Yeah. And the same thing's going to happen in Nehemiah. That's our next book.
Uh-huh.
And it's going to go through the exact same list, giving numbers.
Huh. Same numbers?
No, they're all different. Not all, but a lot of them are. I think there's 18 different contradictions between Ezra and Nehemiah, which we're going to be leaving out here.
So, and then chapter 3, an altar is built and work on the temple begins.
Yeah, there's some description there of how the altar is built.
Great.
The stuff they're doing to prepare to rebuild the temple. And the first temple was destroyed. So now they're going to be starting to think about building the new temple.
How many temples in all?
Only 2.
Oh. This one they're building is going to be
The
destroyed as well?
last one. Yes, it is.
Chapter 4. When Israel's enemies heard that the Israelites were rebuilding the temple, they said to them,
Let us help you, because we worship your God too.
Really? Israel's enemies were worshiping the same God?
That doesn't seem right.
No.
I guess they were being kind of broad-minded about it.
Okay. But the Israelites said to them, no thanks, we'll build it ourselves, as King Cyrus commanded us.
And now we have a series of letters, which I'm trying to shorten up a bit. Letters between kings, talking about this whole situation.
Oh, about the building and...
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, let's just get to it.
They're kings of the region that are discussing the situation among themselves.
Kings with very complicated names.
Yeah, they are hard, so you better read them.
I guess so. King Ahasuerus sent a letter to King Artaxerxes saying, Don't let the Jews rebuild Jerusalem. They won't pay any taxes.
According to our records, Jerusalem was a rebellious city and deserved to be destroyed.
Then King Artaxerxes wrote them back saying, You're right. Yeah, I've checked the records, and the Jews are rebellious. I won't let them build Jerusalem here.
So the Jews stopped rebuilding Jerusalem.
Chapter 5. But God's eye was on the Jewish elders, and they kept working on his house. So the governor of the province and his assistants wrote a letter to King Darius, saying,
The Jews say they are building a house for their God. We asked them who told them to build it and who was working on it.
They say that King Cyrus told them to return to Jerusalem and rebuild the house. So we'd like you to check your records and see if their story is true.
Did King Cyrus tell them to build a house?
All right, these kings don't have enough to do, I don't think. Chapter 6. King Darius searched his records and found this command from King Cyrus. Build a house for God in Jerusalem. Make it 60 cubits high and 60 cubits wide. Restore everything that Nebuchadnezzar took from God's house. Well, it's a good thing he sent it back with all that gold and those dishes.
Yeah. So King Darius sent an order to his governors, saying, Let the Jews build God's house in Jerusalem. Give them all the building materials they need, so that they can offer God sweet savors from their animal sacrifices.
Hang anyone who tries to stop them and make their house a dunghill. God will destroy all kings and people who try to destroy his house in Jerusalem. So the Jews built God's house and prospered, with Haggai and Zechariah prophesying.
When God's house was finished, the people rejoiced and sacrificed 100 bullocks, 200 rams, 400 lambs, and 12 goats.
And everyone who had separated themselves from the filthiness of the heathen feasted for 7 days with great joy.
Yeah, those heathen are filthy.
Yes, they are.
Okay, so in chapter 7, it starts with Ezra's genealogy, which I'm not going to include, but there's a link there.
So Ezra came to Jerusalem from Babylon. He was a scribe in the law of Moses. The good hand of God was upon him.
Yeah, the good hand of God.
Does he have a bad one?
I don't know. It's probably his right hand, I bet.
Probably.
This is a copy of the letter that the King of Kings, Artaxerxes, gave to Ezra.
So, the King of Kings, I thought that was God.
That's Jesus.
Oh, okay.
Well,
oh, you're right. But it's not Artaxerxes.
Well, that's the funny thing here, right?
Uh-huh.
The King of Kings, according to the Bible, at least according to this verse, is Artaxerxes.
Yes.
And he's writing this letter.
Mm-hmm. Any and all Israelites in my kingdom may return to Jerusalem.
Take as much of the silver and gold as you like. Use it however your God wants.
I, Artaxerxes, decree that whatever Ezra wants, Ezra gets.
And you, Ezra, teach everyone God's law.
Punish those who disobey with death, exile, and imprisonment.
So, with God's hand upon me, I, Ezra, led the people back to Jerusalem.
Okay.
Chapter 8 starts with a list of the families returning to Jerusalem.
Thank you for not including the list, Steve.
Yeah.
And then Ezra finds some Levites.
Oh, yeah, I left that out too. But he does. There's 6 verses there about that.
So verse 24. I, Ezra, asked the priests to weigh all the silver and gold that King Artaxerxes had given us. I weighed 650 talents of silver and 100 talents of gold.
When we arrived in Jerusalem, we weighed the gold and the silver in God's house. The people killed 12 bullocks, 96 rams, 77 lambs, and 12 goats as burnt offerings for God.
That's a lot of animals there.
Uh-huh.
Chapter 9. The princes came to me, Ezra, saying, the men of Israel are offending God by taking foreign wives and corrupting the holy seed.
Yeah.
What is the holy seed?
Well, I don't know, but don't corrupt it.
No.
I hate to think.
It's one of those words you don't want to say.
Yeah, don't take foreign wives. And I guess the holy seed is the thing that makes children, so I don't know.
That thing.
Yeah.
When I heard this, I tore my garment and my mantle, plucked off the hair on my head and beard. Ouch, that sounds painful.
Yeah.
And sat down astonished.
That evening I fell on my knees, spread out my hands, and said to God,
you said to your prophets, don't give your daughters to their sons or take their daughters for your sons.
And don't seek peace with them or try to help them in any way.
And now we've offended you again by making friends with our neighbors. We can't stand in front of you because of this.
Yeah. Okay, chapter 10. When Ezra finished praying, weeping, confessing, and casting himself down in front of God's house, the people assembled and wept.
Shechaniah said to Ezra, we have trespassed against God by taking strange wives. So let's divorce them and send their children away. Okay, that doesn't sound like good parenting.
No, it's also not valuing marriage very much or family values or any of that. Just send your wives and children away.
I guess the ultimate sin that they committed was to be friendly to foreigners.
Friendly to and marry.
And marry.
Yeah, have children with, all of that, yeah. Then Ezra forced all the men of Israel to swear they would abandon their foreign wives and children. And they all swore.
Ezra stood up and said, you are guilty of taking strange wives. Now you must separate yourselves from them.
So all the men said in a loud voice, Okay,
we'll do that. You have left out, thankfully, the list of men who had taken strange wives and children.
Yeah, there were a lot of them. I left them out.
Okay, well, it was kind of a long episode, but
10 chapters.
10 chapters.
Whole book, yeah.
A whole book.
Yeah, and now we have another book
Uh-huh.
of similar length in the next episode. I think we're going to do that in one episode too.
Wow.
Yeah, well, we have to make time up because we spent a lot of time in doing chapter by chapter in Samuel and Kings, right?
Yes. Okay. Hey, thanks, Steve.
Sure.
And listeners, we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.